And welcome to You Must Need to Eat here. We're going farm to table.
Yes, so we're back here with Cary Wolfe. Cary Wolfe,
Cary
sorry
Wolfe.
about that. Cary Wolfe.
She's been seeing all the dogs around.
I know.
Right?
Sorry about that, Cary. Owner and chef at the Kitchen at Rose Cottage. We're out here at your beautiful gardens today.
Well, thanks for being here. It's great to have you.
Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Yeah. All right. We're great. We're gonna see more of this beautiful greenhouse in just a second.
So we're in the gardens of the Wolfe family. And tell us a little bit about your gardens here and what we've got in front of us, Cary.
Well, for starters, we're in a, this is called a hoop house. It's a 70 by 30 hoop house where it's a lot of, we just tell folks it's a lot like a greenhouse, but we grow in the ground. So we till the soil in here and we treat it kind of like it's outside, but it's not. It's controlled, and we can roll up the sides and raise them up. You know, we really have a lot of control with the temperature and a lot of the variables, and it's something that's been exciting to and educational to try to figure out how things grow, what works, what doesn't.
And this is something cool. You can, a lot of people, if they're not familiar with gardening, and some are, but you can grow in here almost 12 months out of the year too.
We can, yes, we can. And a lot of things that grow in here that might grow better outside, or you think would grow better outside, grow better in here, and vice versa.
Because
so you kind of have to find the sweet spot on what's good in here. But sure, lettuces for the restaurant, lettuces, you know, herbs, a lot of that stuff, we grow those all winter for sure. And then a lot of these are kind of holdovers from the winter. We planted these collard greens, you know, last summer. And, you know, instead of pulling them out at Christmas like we used to do when they're growing out there, we just decided to leave them in here. And obviously, you know, we're almost in May, and they still just look great. So instead of pulling them out, I just cut them off at the bottom, and they just keep going and keep going. And so these are just good old-fashioned Georgia collards, and you know, I use them in a lot of different things at the restaurant, in the catfish dish that we'll be doing down there a bit later. But I'll saute them. I'll even use them raw in salads, and then I'll also cook them down in the old school way with some fat back and some vinegar. So, but we do all kinds of different things in here. Over here is some just different varieties of kale. There's a purple starboard kale, red Russian kale. These are Vidalia onions along that far side, and then along the edge of the house here are all of our tomatoes. We started the tomatoes in indoors in January, and we just put them in the ground about a month and a half ago. We grow them on trellises. We don't use the cages. We grow them on these trellises that you kind of, as the plant grows,
you grow up, vertically.
You clip them to the little cord there as they grow, which is highly productive, and we're never going back to cages. This is the way to grow tomatoes.
That is awesome.
And you can grow tomatoes that way, obviously. We also grow peppers this way. We grow cucumbers. We grow eggplant, just all on these trellises. So it's
amazing.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, great. Let's walk down this aisle. I see.
Okay, so kind of moving down a little bit. This is Swiss chard, basically spinach. We use in all kinds of different preparations at the restaurant and whatnot. And then right below you here, these are just different head lettuces, mostly bib types. Actually, they shouldn't really be this high. I'm getting ready to pull these out. I have an event this week. And you know, just different types of bib lettuce, oak leaf lettuce, and buttercrisp lettuce.
But they look so healthy.
They're great. Yeah, they're fantastic. And again, this is all organic, so it's great. You just have to basically just rinse them off a little bit, and they're good to go. It's super, you know, when you fresh lettuce, it's just there's really not much that really compares to it. It's just really sweet, really crunchy, really
very completely
a lot
different
of water
taste
in there, and it's just fantastic. Yeah, it really doesn't need a dressing.
No,
quote unquote. Yeah, you know, and so it's fun. And we start a lot of these lettuces in our little grow room, and then we'll transplant the heads. And we just the smaller ones here, we just recently brought those out and transplanted this. These here, which we're particularly proud of, my dad is for sure. I am too. This is celery.
Wow.
And we just don't know anybody in the South or around in the area that grows celery. They don't look like much right now, but in about, I guess about a month or so, it'll be the size celery that's familiar to you at a supermarket. And we cut the stalks kind of around the base and the celery, and I'll cut the celery stalks off and use them at the restaurant for until the fall, really.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of cool. And then getting down here, these are more small leaf lettuces. This is arugula. This is big red Russian kale. This is baby red Russian kale. This is red sorrel, which is kind of a lemony green. I kind of combine all of these, even with the head lettuces, and kind of have our own salad mix that we provide and do all kinds of different things at the restaurant for folks. So it's kind of cool to be able to do that. And these guys, you just cut these. In about a week's time, it comes back, and so they're called what's known as cut and come again lettuces. And then over here on the end here is Lacinato kale or dinosaur kale, just big leaf kale.
Beautiful.
I'm a big kale fan.
So
we, same thing. You just kind of cut the base of these guys, and they just keep growing in the center, and all kinds of different preparation for these guys as well. And then along that side, we got carrots, beets, more radishes, herbs.
I was going to say, do I see some thyme over there?
Yep, that's lemon thyme. Beets, beets, radishes, some more celery along that side. And those are pepper plants that we've just now transplanted. Yeah. And again, we're going to pull all of these spring crops up, and we will replace all of this with eggplant, cucumbers, all kinds of different cucumbers and eggplants,
small
heirloom varieties as well. So this trellis system really works really well for a lot of your hardcore summer staples like cucumbers and eggplants in addition to the tomatoes. So, and in the summertime too, in the winter we can roll these quite easily, roll the sides up, the doors up. Keep them closed at night in the winter, but now it's warming up. We just leave this thing baby wide open. Yeah. And we throw a shade over the top of it. Okay. So that kind of helps with a little bit of the heat.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
fantastic.
It's a cool thing.
Well, hello and welcome to You Must Need to Eat Here. Today we are with Cary Wolfe out at the Kitchen at Rose Cottage. Thank you so much for allowing us to be in your kitchen today.
You're welcome. Happy to have y'all.
Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about, you've been here at the Rose Cottage for...
We've been here about a year and a half now.
Year and a half.
Yes.
Excited to have you back, and I know I've heard a lot of great things, and I've tasted some great things since you had it back opened up.
Well, thank you.
You utilized some farm fresh that we're going to talk about today.
We do. Yes. We have me and my father, about 15 miles north of town. We grow on a couple of acres, all organic produce that we certainly incorporate in a lot of our menus at lunch, dinner, and brunch.
Okay. Cary, how long have you been a part of the restaurant industry?
I have pretty much my whole life. So my first job was I worked at a pizza place when I was in high school, and just have really never done anything since. I've been working.
So you've got a passion for food.
Yes. Yes. I can say that. Yes.
All aspects of it, obviously, because you're growing some of it too.
Yes. Yeah, it's cool. I feel very fortunate as just as a chef to have access to a lot of the produce that we do, and just it's such a cool thing to be able to do it with my father. So it's awesome.
What a treat. Yeah. Well, talk to us about what you're going to prepare for us today.
So we're just going to do this crispy pan fried catfish. I get these, and it's just a boneless fillet of catfish, which is here. I get fresh catfish every week. I have a catfish farm in North Carolina outside of Waynesville. It's just like a little 5-7 ounce. And we're just going to dredge it in just cornmeal and a little bit of salt, pepper, seasonings. We're going to pan fry it here, and then we're going to toss it. We're going to serve it over a mixture of baby collard greens, red rice, and a simple little Dijon sauce here that kind of finishes everything, pulls everything together, I guess you could say.
Excellent. Okay.
So we'll get started with that.
Absolutely.
If it's ready when y'all are.
We're ready.
We're just going to hit this with a little bit of oil.
We love the smell. It already smells delicious in this kitchen.
Getting ready for lunch. So
Yes.
we sell quite a few of these at lunch. So
Okay. So it's definitely a favorite if people know it's here.
just going to simply dredge the catfish in the cornmeal. That butter nice and browned there. Kind of drop the catfish down like that. So we're going to sear this for 3 or 4 minutes on this one side and kind of get it just kind of a quick kind of sear on it. And the cornmeal will kind of just crust up. And we can kind of go from there. And so we're going to sear this off. And so while that's kind of doing its thing, we're going to get this here. And we are still growing collard greens at the farm. It's kind of cool. A lot of people associate collard greens with winter, and that's I do too. But we were able last year to, every year we keep them growing until really July. We'll just kind of clip them across the bottom.
Okay.
And when you do that, you kind of have young leaves, and they're tender. And so we use collard greens in a lot of different ways. I mean, we cook them down with fat back and all the good stuff, but we also use them in the raw form in salads.
Excellent.
We make slaw with them, and so in this dish we kind of just use kind of a little bit of raw collard greens, just straight in the pan, quick saute. We're gonna toss them with some rice, and away we go.
So a little bit of Southern with a lot of new fresh twist too.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is great. Never thought about, and I've had to adapt taste to collards down here, but they're good. I like the idea of just tossing them in to saute them too. So.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely an acquired taste.
Right.
So, but gosh, I could eat them every day. I pretty much do eat them every day.
Okay.
In some shape or form.
I'm one of those people. If I throw garlic on everything, it tastes good anyway.
So we're going to flip that. Yeah, I agree. We're going to flip that and just finish this in the oven. This will take 2 or 3 minutes, and then that's a done deal.
Excellent.
And we're just going to simply kind of saute the collard greens, kind of like you would spinach or kale. Just kind of a quick saute.
So awesome that you grow them year round almost too. That's pretty incredible.
So we got this red rice that we just basmati rice that we cook with tomatoes, and we're going to add this to our mixture. Or collard greens. And then this is pot liquor. Again, we do collard greens in a lot of different preparations. This is from we cook some down with some vinegar and some fat back and whatnot. And we always reserve the juice, the reserved cooking liquid, also known as pot liquor. So we got some pot liquor here. We're going to throw a little bit of that into this, kind of wilt it down. All right, and so the catfish has about 1 minute, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. So do you primarily sourced out a lot of your farm fresh, your catfish, your fish? Tell us about the fish that you get in.
Well, there's basically the purveyor that I work with. Actually, I work with 2 of them. One out of North Carolina, and then one out of the Gulf.
Excellent.
And I just have access to just 2 excellent farms in western North Carolina outside of Waynesville.
That is great.
So I get that in fresh trout, fresh catfish. And I get that in weekly, really. So it's frozen. I mean, it's fresh, it's never frozen.
Wonderful.
And it's good. And it's a good product, sustainably raised. We try to utilize a lot, not just the produce, but just try to try to use it, sustainably raised product as much as we can.
Absolutely.
So
that's wonderful.
But it's a great product. We've been very happy with it for the past year here.
So you're also getting a lot of healthy here when you come eat at the Kitchen at Rose Cottage.
Yeah. So we've got our. We'll just kind of plate this here on our.
Oh, it looks beautiful. Look at all that color.
Like this, and then our catfish is ready, I'm sure. These thin catfish fillets, they don't take any time at all to cook. But the beautiful thing about it is you can almost not overcook catfish if you do it the right way.
Right.
So you kind of have to.
I just love how you just lightly battered it. Nothing heavy, nothing.
Just gonna set the catfish on top of that. And then this is just a Dijon sauce, just a simple green mustard, a little bit of cream, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of Worcestershire, very simple, little hot sauce. That kind of brings it all together here.
Excellent.
Very simple. And then we have, you got to serve it with some lemons.
Absolutely.
And then this is my mom's coleslaw recipe. It's an oil and vinegar based slaw that we put on like everything here.
Look at that slaw. That
really
looks
kind of
fantastic.
works really well with the
yes, kind of
that as well.
cleans your palate.
Some snip chives from the farm to kind of bring it all out. And so kind of
beautiful capture.
That's it right there.
Excellent.
Well, now we're in the dining room here, but I brought a few things from the garden that I thought I'm very proud of, that me and my father worked very hard to grow. We grow all this stuff organically and all this stuff, springtime stuff. So I just thought I'd bring a few things. This is a lacinato or dinosaur kale. This is Swiss chard here. This is red Russian kale. It's a larger type kale, and these are candy stripe red beets. These are Easter egg radishes, because it's almost Easter or after Easter, and some Napoli carrots, white satin carrots, purple asparagus, my favorite here. I have to say,
yes.
It's just you don't even have to cook it. You just slice it up and put it on whatever. And then just some different bib lettuces that we grow. And again, I just picked all this stuff yesterday. All these things make it onto the menu in some shape or form. We changed the menu quite a bit, just based on really what I'm getting out of the garden. And so yeah, it's fun. It really makes what we do here very fun. So.
And welcome back to You Must Need to Eat Here, and we're at the Rose Cottage in Pine Mountain, Georgia, and I assure you that you must need to eat here. Cary, this looks delicious.
Thank you.
It looks delicious, and as my mom would say, when you're fixing food, you want color in the plate that makes it taste better as well, but a lot of love you put into the food. And tell us once again, how did you come up with this dish here?
Well, I was briefly talking about it in the kitchen when we were preparing this. Really, my favorite thing, style, I guess, is just kind of taking old school Southern ingredients and kind of just doing different things with them. It's fun. You can be creative, and that's kind of really one of the driving. I don't want to say principles, but driving, kind of way we approach really the food here. So you kind of take it to play on pan-fried fish, cornmeal, then with the collard greens, but we do the raw collard greens. So it's just a fresher, lighter type of experience. We use, instead of dirty rice, we use basmati rice, which is kind of more of an Asian thin grain variety. And it's just fun. So we're just doing a lot of different things like that. So
it looks fun.
Kind of has a lot going on, but
give me a little drum roll, man. Oh, Cary, that is so, as Stacey would say, that is so much deliciousness wrapped up in that catfish. And now the collards, that's going to be new to me. Begin cooked fresher,
yeah,
but it still works. It still
Don't
works.
get me wrong. I like collard greens any way possible, but my favorite way probably still is the old school way that my mom does them, just for a couple hours on the stovetop with some fat back. But there's just that's what's been cool about what me and my dad are doing at the farm. I just thought that was the only way to do collards, but then when you're growing them, sometimes you have a lot of I'll come in with just bushels of them, and you got to get creative and find different ways to use them. And so now we use collard greens in our salad mix. We've even put some in quiche. You kind of use it when you have access to your own plants. The leaves are smaller, so the leaves are much more tender. So you can kind of treat it like spinach, really. And so whatever you can do with spinach, we can do with collard greens. So it's kind of cool. So,
and eating them this way probably would add probably about 30 more years on your life too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's definitely without all of the bad stuff, which tastes so good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's definitely a lighter kind of way to have collard greens.
Wow, that's awesome, man! I never had collard greens that fresh before. And this slaw, once again, you said this is.
This is my mom's. Really, my grandmother's and my mom's. It's just kind of a real simple oil and vinegar slaw. You kind of cook the oil and vinegar down, then you marinate your cabbage in it. Again, it's a little bit lighter than your normal than your mayonnaise-y kind of thing, but we put that on a lot of different things. We put that on our burger at lunch, and then we put it on our filet at night as well. Like we use it. It's kind of a good little palate kind of cleanser. We feel like for a lot of different things. And I think it especially goes well with the fried catfish.
Okay. And this rice again, rice. That is so wonderful. That is so wonderful.
Cool.
Now,
You enjoy
the
it.
creme brulee. Did I say that right? Creme brulee?
Creme brulee. Yes,
Creme
sir. Yes, sir. So it's just a traditional French dessert. Basically, just heavy cream, egg yolks, and sugar, and you cook it. It's a custard, and then you cook it down in these ramekins here. In this case, this is a lavender creme brulee. In the spring, you have a lot of lavender. We got tons of lavender out at the farm. So in the cream mixture, I put fresh lavender in it. And the eggs we have a new flock of spring chickens this year at the farm. So they're starting to lay eggs, and so the farm egg custard with fresh lavender. And then we just, like I said, in the kitchen, we put a little sugar on the top to kind of caramelize it, and just throw a few berries on there. And it doesn't need much else.
I had that on a cruise ship last year, and the cruise ship did not taste as good as it tastes. I wonder why.
Thank you.
Well, that is awesome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Well, man, pleasure being here at the Rose Cottage in Pine Mountain. Tell us your hours. You're open for lunch and dinner, or both?
We're open for lunch. Yeah, we're open. We do lunch and Sunday brunch. We're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. We're open for lunch from 11 to 3, and then Sunday brunch from 11 to 3. And then we're open for dinner from 6 to 9 on Friday and Saturday nights. Lunch, we have fresh soups, fresh salads, obviously, from everything from the garden. We do a couple of sandwiches and a couple of kind of entrees with the catfish, for example. Just all fresh, cooked to order, good stuff. At night, more of a bistro. Always have a good steak on the menu. Last weekend I had a strip. I get fresh fish in each week. In addition to the catfish, I'll have trout. Last weekend I did North Carolina flounder. I'll do Gulf snapper. I just really but I get that in every week as well. So it's all fresh, cooked to order, and again, we just incorporate a lot of the stuff from the garden and kind of change the menu accordingly. So it's fun stuff. Sunday brunch is really coming along really well, and just a lot of your traditional Sunday brunch items. We do crab cakes, tomato bisque, French toast, frittatas, just a lot of your kind of brunch favorites, in addition to our twist on a lot of other things as well. So.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Unique, different, awesome. The Rose Cottage in Pine Mountain, Georgia. You must need to eat here.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Stacy.
And welcome to You Must Need to Eat Here.
You Must Need to Eat Here will be a 20-minute cooking show highlighting our local chefs and restaurant owners preparing meals in their kitchens along with taste testing, followed by an interview.
We look forward to satisfying your cravings and tipping your taste buds with some delicious food on You Must Need to Eat Here. Also, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
If you would like us to visit your restaurant, please message us through Facebook Messenger at You Must Need to Eat Here, or contact us by email at youmustneedtoeathere@gmail.com.